Hey guys, I'm Maya.
All right, we're live.
Hey,
Yay.
hey.
We're recording for the first time in Riverside, so we're excited about that. But we just want to kick this off and tell you who we are. I'm Leanne,
Hey guys, I'm Maya.
and we're starting this podcast because we wanted a space for women entrepreneurs that have a love for Jesus to be able to come and, we'll have a variety of some longer ones, some shorter ones for you, but just to kind of get your daily dose of badass entrepreneur woman, knowledge, support, and then also have that love for Jesus where we kind of connect it all together.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially too as moms. I feel like, at least for me personally, I officially became a mom this last year. I have been in business now online, as a social media entrepreneur, whatever you want to call it, for the last decade. I know Leanne has as well. She's a mama of three, so she's got a hell of a lot more wisdom than I do. But we're going to give you guys mom advice too, because I feel like that
Yeah.
adds a whole nother layer to, being a woman entrepreneur as well, including, adding God into this too. So, I'm really excited for what we have to share here. And I just feel like our hearts are so big and we have learned so much working online, good, bad, ugly. And honestly, no matter where you are in your journey, whether you know us or you don't know us, either way, welcome. And we are so excited to be able to share with you and connect with you.
Absolutely. This is going to be a fun space where we can kind of just deep dive into business. And honestly, that's what really brought us together is business. But we knew that there was so much more behind that than what we even knew when we first met each other a few years ago at at an MLM retreat. And just to see where we are now and where we are in business. And like Maya said, we have been through so much and being moms and entrepreneurs and wives and leading a very large team that's producing almost anywhere from 500 to $1 million a month. That's crazy to say, a month. And revenue, we feel like we have just built a lot of wisdom over the years and we want to be able to share that. And then we also just want to have that connection and love for Jesus, where I feel like when we first met each other in Tennessee, we're drinking and partying, but we were it was just we were younger, and it's just so much as it's changed. I feel like in such a small bit of time, right? It really hasn't been that many years, but to go from you weren't even a mom yet, and I was in my season that you're in now, then,
I
um,
know.
and it's wild to just see it how it all has progressed. But I just feel like even us coming together, we have formed such a stronger relationship with God just over the last 2 years working together and kind of confessing that to each other, that I'll never forget when you shared that Steve Furwick, I think is how you say his name, podcast to me the one day, because I think I was struggling and you were like, this really helped me, and I listened to that and I was just like, oh my gosh. And then I was just on all of his podcasts listening. They were so good.
Mm.
And I think the one, it was okay. So you sent me that one, and then it was in that time, I was having people saying that I was this is a cult that you're in, and all this and that, and I literally, the title was not anything about that. And I'm listening to this podcast because I was listening to him, and I guess it's a podcast. It's just recorded sermons, and he said in that, if they're not calling you a cult, you ain't doing it right.
Mhm.
You're not getting loud enough. You're not doing it big enough. And so when I was getting that, that just made me feel so good, and that really brought me so much closer to God. And that listening to that, because I was like, wow, that, and that was coming from a pastor saying that, and I was literally going through that in that time, and I'm just oh my gosh. And then I was just yeah, you know what, this, I know, I see you, God, I hear that God wink, I know you're speaking to me, because I was literally going through that. And then after that, it was just I knew I was rooted in God's purpose of why he sent me here, why he brought us together, and we were doing something so much bigger than we even thought we were at the time.
Oh my gosh, I literally have full body chills. And I'm not even just saying that because you know how you go to church, guys, and they're always like, make sure you share God's word and like tell people about God. And, it's one of those things where you don't want to come off as like the weirdo, where you're like, God's love. But it's also one of those
Yeah.
things where at the same time, if you are a believer, you want people to feel that, but you don't
Yeah.
want to come off as the weirdo. So I
Yeah.
love that you just shared that with me because that warms my heart because, as I've gotten older and become a mom and, you just, things do change, your priorities change, and you realize how much more important it is to have God at the forefront of your life, whether you are more open about it or not. And I love that podcast resonated so much with you because it was also shared with me by a friend. So it's like just passing that along is wonderful. Um, Gosh, I love that. So if you guys are listening to this and you're looking for a sermon, I mean, shout out to Elevation Church. That's the
Yes.
church that we're talking about.
Yes.
But gosh, I love that so, so much. And, you know, even if you are listening to this, guys, and maybe you've come across this and you're like, I'm not even like that strong in my religion yet, but I came across you guys because I know you through business. Like, that's okay too. We want you to know that we're here for you as well, but we also truly, truly do believe that Jesus does love you. And like I don't want to come off as like as the weirdo, but at the same time, like I was also at that point in my life at one time too where I wasn't focusing on like God at the forefront of my life and my business. And I will tell you, I was very, very, very depressed and I was not successful. I was not doing well in my life. My relationship wasn't good. Things weren't going well in my life. And I know Leanne and I were talking about this even recently that when we don't have our faith at like the first, like when we're not focused on our faith, things in our life don't go well.
Yeah.
Our business doesn't go well. Like things in your life will start to crumble when you don't have your focus on your faith and on God.
Yeah. Things will start to slip through the cracks for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I know. And that's why I just feel like when you had sent that to me, it was like, wow, like why haven't I been like searching for, sermons to listen to? They're like all over the internet. Like you can listen, like so many people are live streaming and all the things. And so just being able to listen to that, like just it really resonated with me. And because people are mean out there in the online
Oh
space.
my gosh, yes.
And and that like hurt my soul. And I'm just like, I'm a good person. But then I was like, also like trying to like do like the below the belt like punches to these people that are being mean. And like now I've gotten to the point where I just have like flooded God into my life so much that I'm much easier now to just be like, go for you. Like if that's what you think, go you. You gotta do what you gotta do. I'll pray for you. Like I hope you figure it out over there. But like for when they were like saying that I was in this cult, it was like I constantly had to like prove that I wasn't. And it was like,
Yeah.
nah, like I don't have to do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't have to do that. And like listening to that was like, you're not loud enough if they're not calling you that, if they're not like acting
Hmm.
like you are. So, anyways, yeah, I'm really, really excited that, we're doing this and that we're sharing this and we are sharing the love for Jesus because Jesus does love everybody. And, just like you said, the more that you sprinkle them into your life, and I saw you yesterday, in your car and you had that like 5 minute like devotional thing. And I was like, how cool is that? Just to like, I know we have busy lives and we should be probably devoting more time into prayer and things, but just taking that 5 minutes to slow down and just connect. I feel like when I do my like devotional, which is also probably like a 5 minutes, it's not called that, but it takes about
Yeah.
5 minutes, to just do it and connect and like really think. And I feel like this one is actually like it's like confident woman devotional. So it's supposed to like go hand in hand with like women in business and entrepreneurs and things of that nature. But it feels so good that because when you have this hunger as an entrepreneur, it's like sometimes you question it. It's like, am I doing too much? Like if I do I am I craving things that I shouldn't want to crave, like a life that I shouldn't
Yeah.
like be allowed to have? And this book over and over and over again like just confirms that like God wants us to be purposeful, right? And like go live a big abundant life, but it's not going to come easy. Like you're going to have a lot of things that you're going to have to fight through. There's going to be you know fears that you have to overcome, and you kind of have to live outside your comfort zone. It's like literally like the whole Bible is just about really living outside of your comfort zone. I mean, the whole thing. It's like the people that stay complacent and comfortable, like that's why they don't really ever get to and where they want to be, and they're kind of like miserable and not happy. And I was telling, we were like laughing the other day because I was saying like on our Monday call yesterday that we do for our team, I was saying like people just come out of their house like zombies every day and like just
Ugh.
to go to work because they're just miserable. No, who like nobody really loves their jobs anymore because it's just literally a job. Like you people come home from work and they're just like so tired, and it's like going to work, they're so tired. And I feel like we're so blessed because yes, some days if I stay up really late, I'll like, oh, I feel like a zombie the next day because I worked so hard, but it was because I was working on my passion project till 2 o'clock in the morning. So I was a little
Right,
tired.
right.
But overall, like today, I was just so excited to do this. Like I was so excited to get ready and record and do this because this is something that I genuinely love, and I feel like it's not a job because this is just it's our passion. It's something that we love. We love to just inspire people and be successful business owners, like badasses,
Absolutely. And guys, if you don't kind of know like what we do for a living, like Leanne and I are in direct sales, and sales itself is there's no shame behind it. It's not scammy. This is something that we're so proud of. We
Yeah.
love being in direct sales. Her and I have been in some sort of sales and social media for the last decade.
Yep.
We've learned a ton. We used to do all kinds of sales from makeup to like the CBDs, the shakes,
Yeah.
all that fun stuff. We really did not have a ton of success. And we recently, well, not recently, gosh, it's been like 2 years now, but we
Yeah.
transitioned to like a premium offer, health and wellness, holistic, incredible company where now we really have absolutely skyrocketed our income and helped hundreds of other moms and women create multiple six-figure incomes as well. And that's what we do for a living. That's what we really get to do, which has now allowed us to get to this point where we're at this point where we can create this wonderful podcast and we can step into this for us time freedom where we have the flexibility to do what we want with our days, which now we can create this podcast and we can talk to other women and inspire them and coach them to be who they want to be and follow their dreams that God has given them and use their God-given talents. And if they want to be women entrepreneurs and like we can just help teach and grow and give. And it's just I feel blessed as I'm so, I feel really blessed. And
Yeah.
but you know what? It also we don't just sit here and say like I feel blessed like because God gave us this. No, we also worked really hard. God gave us these gifts, but we also worked really hard with the gifts that God gave us. And I think that's the key here that people really need to understand is God will give you gifts, but how are you going to put those gifts into action?
Yeah.
Right? So many people are talented in the world, but what are you doing with your talent? Are you squandering it? Are you sitting on it? Or are you putting it into action?
Yeah.
Life is so short. You could literally, and I'm not even just saying this to be morbid, you could die tomorrow.
Hmm.
If you could die tomorrow, or if you knew you were dying next week, how would you live your life? What would you do? Would you be scared? Would you be sitting back? Would you be too scared to take a risk? Would you be too scared to start that business? Would you be too scared to have that conversation or tell that person how you really feel or, do XYZ? And these are things that you really need to sit, like, have a conversation with yourself, like honest to God.
Yeah.
Start praying, start
Mhm.
talking, be real. And once you go through real stuff in life and I don't want to say like once you have a real loss, but once you really go through deep things, these are things that you start to really take heart and understand, right?
No, absolutely. And I feel like, for us coming from a space of where we were selling like more affordable style products, right? Like like you
Yeah.
said, the shakes, the lotions, the potions, all those types of things. And then like, transforming, like we really have knowledge around it all because over the last decade we've been doing it all. And I feel like um not all entrepreneurs ever get to the level of selling premium packages anywhere from like six to 20 plus $1,000, and
Yeah.
it takes a specific person to do either one. And I just feel like being that that wasn't for us, but we also have a lot of knowledge around like what that looks like and what it takes to do, and now we've evolved and we've moved to a premium offer, and we do that and we absolutely love that, and we feel like that's just what's right for us. And I just feel like God, like, it wasn't by accident that we like met on that retreat. And the funny thing is that even people from that company were like, oh my gosh, you guys are so much alike. You guys are going to kick it off. Like, you guys are going to like be best friends. Like, we already know. And we were just
Yeah.
kind of like laugh. And then we like meet each other and like we had a friendship or whatever. Like, we've made a friendship, but we went home. We went back to like living our normal lives. Like, didn't really think anything of it. Like, we both kind of slipped away from that company. And then I see you, and then like I'm going through like one of the like most financially like stressful all the way around type things going on in my life, where I'm just like, what is even happening? My husband's getting, put on disability, and I'm like, I got to figure out like a way to create income, and like earning $20 commissions just isn't going to cut it. Like, I've done that. I've tried that. It takes a lot of work, which it does not, that it doesn't take a lot of work here, but at least a lot of work can equate a lot of money quickly. And so like for me,
Mhm.
that just worked. And so like I don't know, I feel like I really do feel just so genuinely blessed that over the last decade we have weathered like all of the storms, and we've been through all of the things, and we have the knowledge to help people get to their next level because
Yes.
we've done it. And just recently, like at the end of last year, we're social media based. Like, that's how we build our businesses, and we lost all of that, and like literally it crumbled. Like,
Ugh.
everything crumbled. And that's another testament to God, is I feel like we've even gotten closer to God through that, in a time where people would question like, why would God allow that to happen to me, where we were like, God, just show us why this has happened, and like lead us on where we need to go and how we need to move and like what we need to do to go wherever you want us to go with this. Like, we know you led us here, and now this happened, so like, where do we go? And we've been able to bounce back, and like just to think that like we've done all, so we've lost all of that, like rebuild our businesses back, and then now we're like building out a podcast and like gonna help other people in like struggles in business, or maybe if you don't have struggles, but maybe just want to connect more to Jesus, like connect Jesus more to your business, because I'm telling you, it's such an easy it's so easy to just let him in and let him take control, and then just going with it. Like, I feel like that's for me like I feel like one of my greater like talents is that I can just go with the flow. Like, I'm like, I know that I need to go do this, and I'm just going to do it. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know how it's going to end up or what's going to happen, but I made a post about this the other day, but it's like, I would rather fail over and over and over and over again as an entrepreneur and fighting my way through it than just going and settling to build somebody else's dream at a 9 to 5.
Oof, I literally, it's so interesting that you say that because that is me too. I have no fear of failure in that sense. I
Yeah.
could literally like, and it's so funny because my husband is the complete opposite and I love him dearly, but like, he's like, I tell him all my business plans, like, oh, I want to go create this type of coffee shop or I want to go open this, that, and the other thing. He's like, where's your business plan? I'm like, business plan? What do you mean business plan? I'm like, I don't
I'm
need
the
a business
plan.
plan. Like, it's in here. Like, it's
Yeah.
right. It's in my head, and like unless you run on that type of like energy and fuel, like
Mhm.
it's so, and with a grain of salt, guys, right? Like, I understand when you're opening a
Yeah.
business, you need numbers and stuff like that, but what we're saying is sometimes you
Mhm.
have to go with your gut and your spirit, and when God leads you to a place, you have to go in your faith, and
Yeah.
faith is not something that you can see, and being an entrepreneur, sometimes you have to go in ways and go in directions that is not guaranteed, and things that you can't, things that aren't to be seen, right?
Yeah.
And you have to just trust and believe. That's
That
all
messy
part of,
action, taking
yeah,
messy action and just going with it. And I feel like
absolutely.
that's something we both did. Like, I'll never forget when I like took your hand in this business, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what is happening? I like sent my announcement post to you and Tara, like, didn't even wait like 4 minutes, you guys. And I was like, I posted it, and they both come back and they're like, okay, like, let's go. She's ready to go. I literally paid my links. They didn't get me in anything. I didn't do one training. I didn't do anything. Like, I was just like, I'm ready to go. Like, I've got
Bang
things
bang
to
boom.
do. Yes, take messy action, because what's the worst thing? You're going to learn along the way. You just got to move. And so, that is something that I feel like, we're very blessed in the action that we do that, right? Like, we're also like, behind the scenes right now, like working on something, like working on like a like fear detoxing like workshop. We're like working behind the scenes on that, and we're just like, we're just gonna do it, and we're just gonna see how it takes off and like how it performs, and we're gonna go from there, and I feel like so many people won't do that. And even though I do have a little bit of perfectionist inside of me, but I'll still just always just go for it. Like, what's the worst thing that's gonna happen? That it's a flop? Okay, like we'll learn from the mistakes of like what didn't work, and we'll go try it a different way and make it work.
Oh, for sure. And I feel like what I've also learned too, and for me specifically in like business, is you're not going to be successful if you're not in a spot that God wants you to be in.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, looking back at these other businesses that we were in, and, Leanne and I maybe didn't even realize this at the time, or maybe you're listening to this and maybe you're in a spot, a company, a position in your life, a job, a 9 to 5, a relationship, whatever it may be. And, you're in this, you're unhappy for whatever reason. Um, are there signs around you? Are you feeling like maybe this is not where you're supposed to be, but you're ignoring it?
Yeah.
And you got to think too, like, is this where God wants you to be? And if it's not, why are you continuing to drag your feet to stay there?
Yeah.
You're not going to be happy or successful until you're in the place where your purpose is rooted. Does that make sense? Does that hit? Like, you have to be in the spot where you're rooted and supposed to be so that you can like purposefully grow and like flourish. Like, you are on this journey on this earth, like to flourish and like be who you're supposed to be. And like, if you are, in this, if you're being, like grounded and like and your light isn't shining, and if you're in that spot where you feel like you're just being crushed, that's not how it's
Mhm.
supposed to be feeling. Okay, you should not be feeling that way. You need to get out of that situation. If you feel like you're running into a wall every day, you're not supposed to be feeling that way. Okay, and the only person that can change your life is you. Nobody's coming to save you. That's also just some real advice that I had to take myself to. Like, especially as adults, I feel like we're just in this mindset of like, oh, it's going to get better. It's
Yes.
not. It's
Yeah.
not unless you change it.
100%. You have to make the move. You have to go after it. And I feel like, and that's another thing is like people let the opinions of others like drive them on where they're going in life when it's like they feel in their heart, hey, I want to go pursue this, but I could never do it because I'm going to lack the support from everyone. No one's going to believe in me. No one's going to, give me the support that I need, or like that slap on the back or whatever. And you can't do it that way. Like you have to like, and if you and like for instance, if I would have did this business and like failed, like I took full responsibility. Like if this didn't work out, like it's on me.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew that I wasn't going to allow it to not be a success because I was going to pour every ounce of me and energy that I had left of every single day into the business to make it take off. And so I
Yes.
feel like and I feel like that's with any entrepreneur. I mean, like you really don't ever fail. The only thing you're ever going to do is learn from something that maybe just didn't pan out the way that you wanted it to. But I felt like with coming into the business that we do, um, and I just know because that's like one of the most biggest like risks that really I've ever really taken on paper anyways.
Yeah.
Everything's a risk, I feel like. But being able to just go and just take that messy action and just like go all in and do it, and then be able to be like to every single person that told me, like every single person, I didn't have one person that told me like, yeah, you do great, like you're always good at that kind of stuff, like go for it. Not one person. And so you do feel kind of low, but you can't let people blur your perspective of your vision of where you're going just because they don't see it, because it's not up to them. God didn't put it in front of them. That was
Mm-hmm.
like God will put so many opportunities in front of you and you won't take them because you're like, that just seems scary. Like, I don't think I can do it. I don't know if I, got the energy to devote to that or whatever. But if you solely feel it in your soul that that's something that you need to go after and that you need to do because this is something that you want and you can see what it can do for you, you have to go after it. And you can't let anybody else in the background stop you, because I know my mom, my husband, nobody thought that this was going to be good. But then now every single one of them are like, wow, like I wish I would have. given you more support like in the beginning. But I feel like that's what makes you even stronger, is that when you go against the grain and then you still come out on top, people are just like, dang. And then you also get hate for that too, but it's okay.
Y- I was just thinking, how, so in business, a lot of times, and I don't care what business you're in, a lot of times, you'll hear people say, oh, let me go ask my mentor about this, or let me go talk to my husband about this to see if this is a good decision for me to decide if I want to move forward or figure out, next steps in this. Um, what if we told people, or what if you challenged yourself to go to a nursing home or go talk to somebody who is on their last leg to live and ask them, hey, do you think I should start this business? What do you think they would say to you?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
honestly,
such a good perspective.
do you think they would say, I don't know, how risky is it? You have to invest $10,000. Ooh, what if you don't make that back? Mm, oh man, you have to take out a loan from the bank? What if? No, I can 100% guarantee you that person's going to say, go for it. Take the risk because you're
Yeah.
never going to get time back. Never.
Yes.
You are never going to get these years back in your life. What if you fail? So what? You can start over again.
Mhm.
What if you get egg on your face? So what? Wash it off, get back up, try again. Like, I don't know why people are so afraid to fail. Like, I like literally, I don't understand it. I
Yeah.
don't understand the fear of failure. Because
Yes.
even in like the Bible, I was at church the other week and I'm in a mom's group. We go every other week and I absolutely love it. And one of the moms was talking about how in the Bible, essentially, which it sounds kind of bad, but it is true. And it just changes your perspective. In the Bible, essentially, it's a lot of just saying you're in life, no matter what, you're going to be dealing with hardship after hardship after hardship
Yeah.
until you get to heaven.
Yeah.
So life is just essentially, and you were saying before, you're going to be continuously out of your comfort zone. Well, you're also going to continuously be dealing with hardships. Okay. So you're going to learn to get through one hardship and then you're going to get stronger. Then you're going to, no matter what, there's going to be another hardship in your life that you're going to have to deal with. So think about that in life. No matter what, even if you get through one challenge of the day, do you really think the rest of your life is going to be easy coasting? Do you think the rest of your life you're never going to have to deal with anything hard? No. There's always going to be something else that's going to challenge you. So why are you so scared to fail at something that could excel you to get closer to maybe your dream or to elevate your family? I just think that people really need to wake the fuck up.
Yeah. They really do. And I love that you said that. And it's so true. And it's like, I look at failures as just a way to just get on another step up, to be that much stronger, to hold that much more, and to just be able to, like get to that next level. And I feel like, and like you said, like, why are people so afraid to fail? I really don't know, because I'm not. Like, I welcome it every single day. Like, I literally go purchase additional mentorship for them to like break me down, to make me a better person out online, be better at marketing, be better at this, be better at that. Like, tell me what I'm doing wrong so that I can get better at it. That's
Mhm.
how we grow as humans. Like, that's how we get to the next level. That's how we could become better people. That's how we become better, followers of God. All of it is just like, it's all a cycle to constantly keep getting better. And I think that that was like one other thing we wanted to touch on, is it's like, it's not about being perfect. Like, we're
No.
not perfect. Like, there might be some things that like we might talk about that you might not feel as a Christian or a follower of God, that's something that that aligns with. But the really cool thing about, being a follower of God, at least for me, is that it's not up to like us to judge anybody on the way that they follow God. Like, people have to do what they feel like it is right for them. But all we want to do is show up as authentic entrepreneur women that have a love for Jesus, but also want to be able to help you navigate hard times through entrepreneurship, through being moms, through just all of it, being wives, being, like business, if you own a, brick and mortar, whether you own an online business. We just want to be able to like be there for you so that you can listen in on this and be like, wow, like they're right. Like, I need to just take a step back and like take a deep breath, or whatever it is. When you're able to listen to our podcast, like, I hope you can just reflect and just feel like, I am where I'm supposed to be. I'm rooted and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm going to get to where I need to get to. Because I feel like every time when I listen to a podcast that, kind of fills me, like fills my cup, like that's basically what we want. We want this to be like, to fill your cup, that you're not alone and that you're going to go through hardships and you're going to, come up against the really hard things on the way to the top. Like it's just the way that it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also too, on the other side of the coin of that as well, and I know Leanne will do this too because she's
Yeah.
really good at this, is we want to challenge you a little bit too. There's going to be days on here where we're probably going to talk about some tougher subjects and be really direct with you about things,
Oh yeah.
and things that maybe you are going to stop after listening and it's going to sit with you for a bit. And you're going to be like thinking about it for a day or two. And you're going to reflect on it and you're going to, be like, okay, how do I really feel about that? Is that
Yeah.
resonating with me? And it's one of those things that's what I want. I
Oh, me
want to,
too. I feel like
yeah.
that's actually things that fill my cup, but we're also like kind of weirdos when it comes to that. Like I mean, like when things trigger me a little bit, that wakes me up that like, okay, I need
Hmm.
to pay attention, a little bit more attention to that. I need to get a little more educated on that, or I need to
Hmm.
like whatever. So I feel like that is an internal way to fill your cup is on all levels. Like it's not always going to be the fluff, feel good, that kind of stuff. But like she said, challenge you, wake you up, trigger you a little bit, make you expand your mind a little bit, because I feel like that is something that all goes into expanding yourself and growing.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm so glad that I have you as a business bestie
My gosh,
and
me too.
like my God-filled bestie. Like this is
Yeah.
just something where I'm so glad that we can do this together, and I'm so glad that this was our first session officially recording. How very special, the first of many in our journey.
Yes, this was absolutely beautiful. So blessed. Love you so freaking much. And I just feel like, gosh, it's been 2 years solidly working together, and I still feel like this is literally still just the beginning.
Same, same, crazy.
It is.